Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. It's Elesa and my nose is super red because I'm sick. And I literally just put lotion on my nose. I took it off because I had to blow my nose. Mad. Okay, you know what? It is what it is. It's fine. I'm getting over a cold, so that's why I sound really nasally and really gross. So I'm sorry. But I asked you guys on my Instagram a couple days ago to ask me some questions or some topics that you wanted me to cover in today's little chit chat. Get ready with me. So we're gonna be chatting about them all day today. So to start this bad boy tutorial off, we're gonna go with my Clinique. This is the Dramatically Different Hydrating Jelly, and I'm just gonna pop this in the back of my hand, and we're gonna put this all over the face and bring it down the neck, just to make sure we are nice and hydrated. I think you get the idea. Gosh, you guys have asked like a big variety of questions, and I really like that, because how interesting. Study abroad questions, career questions. I pushed my throat and it made a funny noise. Makeup, where I've been brought up, just all sorts of things. So I don't even know where to start, there's so many. So what I decided to do is I'm just gonna talk to you guys, and then I'll put all the products that I'm using down in the description box below for you to go check it out if you want to know. How was your experience this year studying abroad different from your last? It was different, but it wasn't at the same time. So I went to Perth. Actually, I'll tell you guys now where I was. I didn't really like tell you exactly where I was because I didn't want creepos, you know, finding where I lived, but I actually lived in a suburb called Joondalup, and it was this cute little suburb outside of Perth, which is on the west coast of Australia. It's like literally the furthest place ever in the world, at least where I'm located on the map. It's like a 40-hour flight. Oh, miserable. But besides the point, before I get off topic on that, I lived in Joondalup and I went to Edith Cowan University. I lived on campus. I was like a 5-minute walk away from campus, and I went there the first time, and then I decided to make a return back there. So it was different. Well, obviously, I think the classes that I took were different. These were more marketing classes. These are my senior marketing electives. So I think I took Gen Eds the first time I was there. I met up with a lot of people that I met the first time that I was there, which was really fun. Honestly, I feel like it really wasn't that different. I was a little bit different because like I've grown up a little bit more, but otherwise, it was still like pretty much the same because like I lived there once, so I already knew what I was expecting. How to grow fashion YouTube channel if person doesn't have enough money to buy outfits. But I didn't have like a lot of money to buy new clothes and like makeup and all that sort of stuff. But what I did have was my creativity. Nah, that was not a flex. Because when I started my YouTube channel, I was like, I think 19 years old, and I had like, you know, a little part-time job, but I didn't have like a whole lot of money to just like buy new clothes, buy new makeup, like all of these great things that these grand YouTubers have. But I wanted to create like creative content that nobody else had made before. So I would thrift my outfits and I would just create really creative videos. And that was like my edge. That's how I got started in the YouTube business. If you're excited about what you do and you want to be creative and you want to have fun with it, I think it's just naturally gonna go. If you have creativity, you can get yourself as far as you wanna go. You don't have to have money. That's such a misconception. You don't have to have money. You don't have to have all the clothes in the world, all the makeup in the world, or even like the best camera equipment. You can literally film on your phone and just be creative with it. That's what people wanna see. They don't really care so much if you have like the greatest stuff in the world. They wanna see what you're bringing to the table. Maybe it's your creativity. Maybe you're entertaining. Maybe you're like a vlogger, or maybe you like more tutorial-based things. Whatever it may be, people are coming to you for your insight and your value that you're bringing to them through your videos. So don't get hung up in the details, like the makeup and the fashion and all that stuff, because honestly, you're gonna be creative or not, regardless if you have those things. Yeah, I'd say just get out there and try it out. Okay, I feel like this is a really yellow color and I did not mean to be that yellow. Whoops. Okay, I like this one because this one is not true. Somebody asks, how can you be such a positive person all the time? Anyway, hi from Czech Republic. Hello from the United States. First and foremost, that is not true. I am not a positive person all the time. That would be a total lie if I said that I was. There's still stress in my life, but I guess the biggest thing that helps me is like realizing you can't necessarily avoid it, but you have to learn to work through it. Letting yourself feel what you need to feel. I'm stressed, and then you figure out how to get through that stress. And if you weren't stressed about certain things, then that's an indicator that something else is wrong. That maybe you aren't realizing something that you need to in order to do what you need to do. Who is your favorite makeup artist? By the way, you're my fave. Oh, I love you so much. Thanks, I love you too. My favorite makeup artist? Ooh, I don't know. I like Hindash, but I also like Mario, Kim Kardashian's. I don't think I could choose between both of them. They still have like a natural look to their models, and it's just really pretty, and I'm actually always impressed by their work. Okay, people want to know about my favorite books. Well, I don't like to brag, but I am a scholar. That was a joke. I am not. I actually hate reading so bad, but when I read, it's like textbooks or it's like articles for class. It's not like, I don't read it for fun. I think I'd rather read a textbook than read a real book. Like, that's how much I hate reading. Another weird thing is I am not a big movie person, which is like weird for a lot of people, but I don't really watch movies. Like, I get really bored with it, so I don't ever really watch movies unless they're Disney movies. Yeah, I can do plenty of those. Oh, The Princess Diaries is so good. I love that one too. The best advice that you were told. Hashtag no. Just kidding. No, that is not the best advice ever. My dad told me once, don't ever give up. Always keep going. But like, even though it sounds kind of funny, like an inspirational quote, he's right. You never ever should give up. You should always keep pressing forward. Don't ever, ever, ever give up. I think that was the best advice ever. Because if you give up, you actually feel worse about yourself. Just like, oh man, like this is a bummer. It didn't work. I'm so sad. Boo, 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 boo. But if you push yourself, then you find out things about yourself that you can do that you didn't realize you were capable of doing. And that actually boosts your self-esteem and everything. It actually helps. So if you fail or you make a mistake, now you know what doesn't work and you can fix it. So just keep on trying. Those brows are looking a little bit caterpillar-like, but you know what? Okay, somebody says, your career. So my career is YouTube, and that sounds like a joke. And like when I tell people that, people get super like weirded out, and actually it's super uncomfortable to talk about it in person. The guy who was teaching a business writing class was a mathematician. Like, it didn't make any sense. He asked us like what jobs we were doing, and I was like, oh, nobody ever believes me, and it's super uncomfortable. And so I was like, you know, YouTube. Okay. I was like, this is super embarrassing. I was so uncomfortable. YouTube's a very interesting thing. Like, I would have never ever thought that this would be something in the future for me, realistically. Like, it was a dream, but it wasn't like really, like it wasn't really real yet, I guess. And when I started YouTube, like I said kind of earlier in the video, it was more of a hobby. It wasn't like trying to get famous or like trying to make money or like anything like that. It was truly, I just want to see what I can do with my skills. And it just happened to grow and work. People don't realize how businessy YouTube is. And I don't say that in a bad way. I don't want you to think like, you know, your favorite YouTubers are scamming you. You are just totally snowed. That's not what I'm saying. So you're creating yourself a brand, and that's part of the fun, like building a name for yourself. So you know, the brand goes beyond getting views, and it's much more different than that. And you put your name out there. So what do you want the public to see about you? What kind of presence do you want to have for your audience and for people who maybe are new to your channel or new to your Instagram or your social media? Kind of what person do you want to be and show to the world? And you know, what's your mission? What are your values? What do you want to give to the world? And what kind of goodwill are you doing for people? But that's what YouTube is to me. And it's not just like you post videos just to post videos. For me, YouTube, yes, is my career, and I love it. And is it hard to do in school? Oh my gosh, you have no idea. And that's been my biggest struggle this past year, has been being consistent with YouTube and being consistent on social media, and be consistent with you guys. And I'm genuinely so sorry for that. I think it's more important to realize that life comes first before your job. And not saying that jobs are important, that your career is not important. That is not what I'm saying at all. But I think you need to develop first as a person through learning and skill sets and socially, and you know, meeting people and just enjoying life, but learning life first before you dive deep into your career, and kind of finding that balance between, you know, for me, YouTube and my personal life. That's what I needed to do, and I think that's more important, because at the end of the day, my authenticity and my integrity is far more important than the amount of views that I get on a video. So those are my values. That is what I believe, and that is the way that I have decided to run my career, my YouTube channel. So yeah, I don't know if that's what you were looking for, but that's my answer to my career. Okay, I guess I could talk about influencer, like events and stuff. Events are really fun. I was so blown away. When I went to LA for the first couple of times, I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I was like, I can't believe I'm going to LA, this is so weird. I just didn't expect any of it, honestly, and I didn't really know how to react. I think it was more like a shock than anything. It wasn't like, yeah, like I just expected this, like, this is great. Influencer marketing is a really big facet of like the whole kind of thing. But I can tell you from my experience, I was blown away at what it actually is. Like I had no idea what it was. You know, when my manager was like, hey, like, you know, Spring wants to work with you, blah, blah, blah. Wait, what? I was super excited, and I was like, honestly honored. I didn't think that would ever be me, or that would never be the case for me. Let me scoot this over. I feel like that mirror has been ugly in the background the whole time. I'm so sorry. What you're passionate about and what career path you want to take in the future. Okay, well, I'll tell you that I'm very passionate about marketing. I really feel like I am. I mean, I did choose to do this, but I'm more passionate about what marketing really is. I feel like a lot of people misconstrue, what am I trying to say? Misconstrue? I feel like a lot of people misconstrue marketing for what they think it is and not what it actually is. And oh, I hate that so much. Like that's just one of my pet peeves. But I get what they're saying and where they're coming from. And I just want marketing to be done right and authentically and with integrity. And that's just my dream, okay? Because really, a lot of people think marketing is like this, you know, kind of like sales scam. And not saying that doesn't happen, because that does happen very often and that is unacceptable. But that's what corrupt companies and people do. And I guess marketing is kind of just thrown into that and lumped into that. But marketing at its core really isn't that at all. It's actually defined as the creative use of truth. And a lot of people don't realize that. But that's really what marketing is. So it's about having a product or a service, whatever you're selling to people, whatever business you have, what you're selling to people, and knowing what that product or service is and what it does for people and what value it brings them. So I think a really good example that I can give you that one of my professors gave me that I was like, yeah, that makes sense, was about a haircut. The person you go get your haircut, okay? So do they do a good job? Well, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be going to them. You'd find somebody else who cut your hair the way that you wanted it to be cut. Obviously, you don't want your hair to be butchered. I guess the marketer would come into place by marketing that service to somebody looking for that service. So let's say that hairdresser specializes in color. So yes, they can cut your hair, but they're really known for their color. They can like match the color exactly. Let's just say that they're like color experts, okay? So that's what they specialize in. So me as a marketing person would say, okay, so what are you good at? What service do you provide? What value do you give them? What is your strong point, basically? And they're like, well, I've been to school for, you know, X amount of years. I've worked with these companies. I've been labeled as the color specialist in the area. So now my job as the marketer is to take people looking for like the expert in color. I would say, okay, I would identify those people looking for the expert color stylist, and I'd say, hey, you're looking for a really killer expert in coloring your hair? This is the chick or guy that you go to. And so it's about kind of creatively telling that story to that audience, picking out the audience, knowing who are the people that want that color hair or wanting that expertise kind of color, or knowing where they are to talk to them and then tell that story to them, saying, hey, this person can give you what you're looking for. And that's really what marketing is. So it's about brand storytelling than it is about just selling products that people don't even care about. That is not what marketing is. So it's fun, it's creative, it's artistic, but it's also very logical, because you're not lying to them, you're telling them what it really is. It's the creative use of truth. And that is something I'm very passionate about, and I believe in completely and totally. Everything is falling down. I feel like I talked to you for so long. I'm really sorry if that was boring. Okay, somebody asks how to improve and become a better self. Ow, I almost burned my neck, but I didn't quite. It was just a scare. I think the biggest thing for me is kind of pushing yourself to the limits. Honestly, kind of doing things outside of your comfort zone, I think is really, really important. So even if you necessarily don't like love to do that, or maybe you don't really want to, I feel like that's actually when you learn the most, because you've done something that you know that you don't love or you don't really like, but you know it's gonna be good for your growth and your development. So it's like biting the bullet and actually just doing it. If you don't, then you don't know what you're capable of doing. And I don't think it's like the end of the world to make mistakes. I think it's, if you truly, honestly, get back up and you keep trying, it'll make the difference. You know, you can't be perfect, but that's not an excuse to give up. I think you should always try to be better and not compare yourself to others, but you know, with your life and your skills and your creativity and your job and your school and everything that you have in your life and your experiences, what can you use to help others? Okay, places you visited and loved and places you want to visit. I like this one. I went to Alicante, Spain when I was 18. It's like down in the south of Spain, if you don't know where it is. It was beautiful, and I went with one of my friends that I met in high school. She was a foreign exchange student from Spain, and she was going back home, and she was like, you should just come with me. And I was like, okay. So I did, and it was so much fun. I loved it. I stayed there for like 5 weeks, and I got like the VIP experience because she lived there, she's a local. I mean, girl, they could not have gotten any better. It was so much fun. I've also been to Perth, Australia, Western Australia. Just kidding. I actually love the Australian accent so much. So I've been to Perth twice. I've been to the Sunshine Coast in Australia also. That's on the East Coast. Oh my gosh. Literally, if I could live in Australia, I think I would. I love it. It was the most beautiful country I think I've ever visited and will ever visit. It was just like, I don't know, something about Australia just like stuck a chord with me, and I just love it. I've been to LA, San Francisco, San Diego, like on influencer trips, and that was really cool because I've never been there, but only for YouTube, and that was really cool too. I'd love to visit Banff. I think that would be beautiful. Where else do I want to go? I want to go back to Australia, and I want to explore Australia. Honestly, I don't know. I just kind of like to travel, even if I don't know exactly where I want to go. Like, I just like the idea of traveling and kind of seeing the world for what it is. So yeah, I'm pretty down to traveling as long as it's not a super dangerous place. Then let's do it.